For the first time in 46 years, the best of the best in the Sports Car Club of America return to the West Coast for the club's annual one-race battle for the title of champion in 27 classes. This year's three-day duel for the medals brings over 400 racers to California's Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca on the stunning Monterey Peninsula. It's time to seriously step up at the 2014 and 51st SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Welcome to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, the 51st running of SCCA's National Championship Runoffs. The 2014 Run to the National Championships, 27 different classes awarding national titles today, over this three-day weekend. Today we now crown the final 9. 2 are in the books. It is time for us to crown the national champion in a class that is one of my all-time favorites because it is all about driver ability, driver feel, no aero in the cars, a little bit underpowered by design, narrow tires, not a lot of grip. It is a class where a driver can absolutely shine, and they generally run in glorious packs. A little class called Formula V.
Yeah, that's right. You talk about that and you're saying all the stuff they don't have, but what they do have, engineering. These guys, most of these chassis, home-built chassis. They do this all themselves. They maintain these cars. These are their cars. These are their babies. On the pole, Michael Verisan's, a guy that builds some of these chassis for some guys, and really dominating performance. Your 2013 champion on the pole here again today.
And they are rolling out of the pre-grid, and that means they head right down the pit straight, start their pace lap, and they go right by Hayward Wagner.
All right, guys, Formula V rolling off the grid. This is a Volkswagen Beetle as a starting point and a custom-built race car from there. 1200 cc, 60 horsepower Volkswagen engines, Volkswagen transaxles, Volkswagen front suspension and steering box, everything else custom. Very simple race cars. This is all about momentum and drivers staying clean. Always a great race here at the Runoffs, Formula V.
And exciting, absolutely right, Hayward. Momentum, and boy, they get into these packs, drafting on some tracks. And a couple of guys said drafting it will even be key here, because if you can get a little help up that hill, that's going to be of benefit as well. And these guys, they run in those packs, wheels interlocks. I mean, it's just spectacular stuff, and it's always a great show.
Yeah, it sure is a great show. When you look at the grid, just in the grid itself, I mean, 32 of these Formula Vs here set to take the green flag, and each and every one of these cars, no matter what problems you had, these guys all pit together. They use the same parts together. You might have 10, 15 guys banging away if you have a problem on these cars, and that's what it's all about in Formula V, the true testament of the camaraderie that these guys have down in the pits, and all part of SCCA and the Runoffs.
Absolutely, and the guy on pole, Michael Verisan's, an amazing story. I mean, certainly he's the one guy who's super sweep eligible, first one we've had so far today. We'll explain that in just a little bit. Of course, he's won a couple of national championships, including the last 2. He's going for 3 straight, but I think even more remarkable in a way, this is his 6th straight tire rack pole. I mean, in terms of pace, no matter where, it's Road America here, this guy is fast.
Yeah, got to be quick, and once again, home-built chassis. He builds his chassis, him and his dad. He's up there on the pole again, 6 in a row. Absolutely amazing to do that, to win those tire rack pole position awards.
Yeah, that Speed Sport chassis. Oh, this is tough. Somebody makes that long run. Richard Gordon in the Crusader. That's a chassis that's been around a while. Something has gone wrong on the pace lap after that journey. To have it end like that is frustrating. Another guy to keep an eye on here, Dennis Andrade. After the first 2 qualifying sessions, which happened Tuesday and Wednesday, he was back in the 9th spot. In that final qualifying session, Jeff, he picked up the better part of 2 seconds and jumped up to 2nd. So Dennis Andrade, the D&D Racing Vortec, that late session showing some serious pace.
Yeah, good job for him, and really, I think is going to be him, or I believe, 3rd place, Andrew Whiteston, or Jonathan Weisheidt. Weisheidt really battled with Verisan's at Road America last year, and he's finished 2nd and finished 3rd. Wants to get that top step of the podium.
And Sports Car Magazine, the publication of SCCA, thinks that the 86 of Terrence Swanson, who qualified 5th, as one of the guys they would have picked. And Robert Neumeister, unbelievably, the 88 pole sitter, always fast, but struggling a little bit back in 17th. So he might be a candidate, obviously, for the Sunoco Hard Charger Award. But we're going to settle all those scores right now. The field comes out of turn 11, heading toward the green for the 20-lap run to the medals. in Formula V. Here we go. And again, this is pack racing at its finest. And Dennis Andrade, nice time move on the outside. And then here comes Andrew Whitson, 3 abreast, down into turn 2. It is tough math. 3 into 2. Can they make it work? Whitson at the last second tucks right back in and settles it in a little bit. And look at this, 3-4 abreast, apex of turn 2. Love this class.
Yeah, it sure is. Look at that. They're still 3 wide, 4 wide now, down into turn number 3.
And everybody gets through. I mean, they are willing to go side by each, but they understand the consequences of touching wheels. They do it beautifully. So there we head down in, and it was Andrew Whitson from the 3rd spot able to sneak down when Andrade went wide outside. He just laced through underneath, and Whitson already on the attack on Verisons. Oh, I don't know if there was contact. There was there as the 87 gets into him. Dennis Andrade and Verisons touch. I couldn't tell though whether that, whether Whitson got into the back or Verisons just had the back end step out.
Yeah, not sure what happened. It could be some cold tires. Oh, and now he's stuck into the sand trap. Cannot get that Formula V out. If he can't get it clear by the time they come back, we're not going to see a three-peat.
Unbelievable. That was your front row that both had the contact there, and Whitson able to just drive on up and through. Now through the corkscrew, down the hill they come. And boy, you can see Owen Whitson not getting a good run out of the corkscrew and trying to pick out who that number might have been. May have been Terry Swanson. Yep, it is, the 86. Terry Swanson up from 5th on the grid in the Toad Hall Enterprises Mysterian into the lead, but full course caution. So Terry Swanson timed that to perfection, got that pass made right before the doubles.
Oh, absolutely. Leads that first lap here in Formula V and will be your overall leader, but just absolutely devastating to Michael Verisons.
Oh, man.
Stuck there in the gravel trap on the exit of turn number 5. We're not sure if there was contact, but just absolutely devastating for his national championship run.
Yep, 3rd will be the 61 of Jonathan Weisheidt, and 4th the 77 of Rick Shields. And Rick Shields, a former national champ, back in 2010, up from 6th on the grid. And Roger Siebenaler, the number 72 in that AutoWorks Hoosier entry, 3-time national champion. His Mysterian sits in the 5th spot right now. And Skip Streets, by the way, another former national champion. Skip had qualified back in 15th. He was a 91 champ. Well, there's a look at it. And there's the contact. Did you see contact when they, that first spin?
Yeah, it looks like he got right in the back bumper,
tipped him, huh?
Right in the back gearbox of that Formula V, and just spun him right around. So I'm sure the SCCA Club Racing officials and stewards of the meet will be looking at that.
Yep.
And I guarantee you there might be some talk after this race about what happened there with the contact.
Yeah, I would think so. By the way, I was just talking about Skip Streets. Up to 8th, he qualified in the 15th spot. So that was a superb opening lap for him, picking his way through everything that unfolded. And back from 17th now to 12th is Robert Neumeister. So again, just kind of keeping an eye on a few of the guys that might have an opportunity for that Sunoco Hard Charger Award. And by the way, this is a class, we have 3 lady racers out there. We talked to, we were sort of teasing a little bit, but Lisa Noble, who is now the president and CEO of SCCA, and of course she's been a long-time competitor in this class, but you also have the 24 of Marjorie Lundberg and the 29 of Kim Madrid. But let's watch it here again. I'm going to get one more look at it very thoroughly. You can see the flat tire on the left front sitting after that contact. Here it is. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right there, there's the touch.
Yeah, it was almost nose to that left rear tire, wasn't it? Just enough. And then that little bit of a bump flattened that left front on Verison's car, and Andrade obviously a bit of damage as well. So we are under caution early here in this 20-lap run. And there is the number 7 of Dennis Andrade down into the pits. I'm sure also immensely frustrated because he just was nothing he could do about it. He just was behind him and came up onto the scene. Hayward, what's it look like?
Car here in pit road with the 87 car. From his point of view, it looked like the leaders got together. They're in turn 5, turned Verisons around, and he got into him. So at least 3 cars involved in the incident. The 87 car is done for the day.
And you can see the frustration there for Dennis. Just can't believe what happened again. Made up that huge 7 spots in that last qualifying run, and was very clearly a guy who was going to be a factor. And as a result, though, just now sitting in pit lane, damage to the front end of that absolutely beautiful Vortec.
Yeah, and I know that Verisense can get going here again, get that left front tire changed, assuming there's not more suspension damage there. But it was a pretty hard lick to that left front. You see the wheel bent. When you bend one of these steel wheels on these Formula V cars, that was a huge impact, and probably his day's done no matter what.
And obviously we had Hayward telling us a little bit about these cars. A pretty good plume of smoke there. We see that often, of course. The valve covers on these cars are pretty much held on with clips with those little 1200 cc engines. But Hayward was talking about it. But one of the cool concepts of this class is you can design. There's certain parameters, but you can design the chassis, the body work, however you want. And we see guys that do the try and get the driver real low and present a flat frontal area, vertical, horizontal frontal area with some of the cars that stand up just a little bit. But you have to run the engine and drivetrain, and you have to run those scissor front suspension components. That's mandatory for all the cars. So it's an interesting way that they go about this class. It's been successful for a lot of years. Under caution, we're going to step away here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. But believe me, when these guys get back to it, it is going to be spectacular. So stay with us. The 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs are being brought to you in HD by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Hankook, driving emotion.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson. Courageous engineering is also the Mazda way, and why the 2014 Mazda 3 has an available class-exclusive suite of 8 safety features and a top safety rating. Because when it comes to safety, you can never go too far. This is the 2014 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
The machines and their manufacturers span the planet. This is no spec series. Diversity breeds excellence and brings battle. Ride with the best and test the iconic circuits of North America. No pit stops, no quarter. The world watches and knows this is how racing should be.
We are green. The run to the golds in Formula V, and our leader locking up huge down into that first turn. The smoke just roiling off of the tires. The ferocity of Formula V in terms of the level of competition is back at it. It is fascinating stuff, Jeff.
Yeah, Terrence Swanson locked all 4 up, it looked like, coming down there into the Andretti hairpin. That allowed Whitson to make the move for the lead. Your new leader in the Formula V category will be that number 19, Andrew Whitson. But giving up, Terrence not. Is he right there on the back bumper, Greg?
Boy, he is glued, looking to show the nose. We've seen this a little bit here, and we got the report in the most recent race here that the track feels a little bit slipperier than it has to some of these drivers in some of the other classes. So something that all of these guys are dealing with just a little bit. And here's that pack, 3 cars just wheeling it up through turn number 6. Jonathan Whiteside, Rick Shields in the mix, then a little bit of a gap to Siebenaller.
And that's going to be amplified here. You see the tires on these Formula Vs, very, very skinny. I think it's about a hand width is as wide as these tires are. So it's got to get, hard compound on these cars, got to get warmed up and keep going.
Absolutely, then that's what makes this class so fun. We talked about it. It is about driver's feel. That's what makes this so, you don't have false grip from aerodynamics, you don't have big meats on the car, you don't have monster tire. It's about finding that limit and being able to dance on that limit of momentum without scrubbing but carrying speed. It is a blast, and all powered by the same power plants. So they tend to run so close, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Here we go. Big look there. That is the number 77 of Rick Shields. He wants by. That would be for the 3rd spot. And we've got a side-by-side battle once again down into turn 1.
Oh, just right to the outside was the move, but not going to give it up. Winston goes back down to the inside, but Taryn Swanson to the outside move of the Andretti hairpin down to the straightaway. Really got it done before that Andretti hairpin.
Yeah, by the time he turned in, he cleared him, didn't he? That was an absolutely fantastic move. So Swanson back into the lead with Whitson second, and then Weisheit and Shields battling. Shields turning the fastest lap of the race thus far to 145 flat.
Wow, right there down into the 145s. Good job for them. We'll see if we can get a 44 out of this, but good run for Swanson. His best finish ever in a Runoffs was 15th at Road America. He's making his 4th start here, so up in top 3, running second now.
Yeah, this is what it's all about, isn't it? These guys just go so hard. Oh, we got another. That's the number 78 off in the turn 6 area of the track. Kevin Gordon, the CMK Racing Crusader. And that's unfortunate, obviously, to have it go away. But up front there again, Taryn Swanson, as you said, at this pack of 4 up into this great corner. The corkscrew falling off the planet. Was that a 3-story drop just right there alone, and then it just continues to fall down the hill.
Right there from top to bottom, you turn the car to the left, you count to 1 or 2, turn the wheel back to the right, and pray you got it right.
It is an amazing corner down through turn 10 to complete yet another lap. This will be completing lap number 5 and taking us to a quarter distance of this one. And Taryn Swanson back in front. Now we'll see if Andrew Whitson coming out of turn 11 has anything for him here. Again, these cars do draft. If you get close enough, you can be able to get back after it. Brian McCarthy, that black car, the 05, we just saw a little tail happy, and a big pop move by Weisheit. He wants to come down. He wants to go after the second spot. He's got position. Just a matter of making it work. Now he's going to go for the whole ball of wax. He's down to the inside of Taryn Swanson, side by side. Here they come out of the exit of the Andretti hairpin. Taryn Swanson will have the inside into turn 3, and Weisheit says, all right, I'll settle for second. Still, what an attempt to almost get the whole thing.
Yeah, almost went over-under on the exit of turn number 3 there, but great power move from Weisheit down to the inside. Almost made it 2 passes into the lead.
Exactly, and Rick Shields, the number 77, just sitting there. But all of this side by, well, here we go again now. Can he make the move for the lead? Beautiful move, the 61 of Jonathan Weisheit now takes that JK Technologies machine to the point. But boy, Taryn Swanson right on his 6 as they head up the hill. And all these guys side by side, guess who's coming after him? Roger Siebenthaler just turned to 144.7. It's now a 5-car battle.
Yeah, fastest race lap of the event so far, that 144.7 for Siebenthaler. He's going to be hoping these guys start racing side by side. Now a 5-way battle for the lead in Formula V.
Absolutely, this is what it's all about. Ooh, look for a minute, yeah! Weisheit, you can see he got it completely wrong at the turn in and just speared off. And that cost him that lead. He's going to drop all the way back now to the 5th spot. He's still got a hold on that spot as 05 Brian McCarthy in that pack. Just a little bit too far back. We got somebody off again down at the bottom of that turn. That looks like it's the number 4, Jake Pippal, the Carbotech Brakes Willpower Racing Caracol off down there. And if he can't get going, that's going to definitely probably be a full course because cars end up there. We just saw Weisheit get into that spot as well.
Yeah, we saw a tire rolling away there, so I promise you he can't get back underway. That car is going to be stopped. We'll have to see how that plays out. But hoping we don't have our second caution flag here in Formula V. But now, 4-way battle down here into the lead. Still Swanson leading over that number 19 of Andrew Whitson. Whitson wants to battle back here. His best finish, once again, we mentioned 15th and battling for the win in Formula V in his 4-start. Good job by that. Rick Shields back in 3rd.
And I think Weisheit lucky to be able to get back on track and still be in 5th. And again, you can just see something went wrong at turn in for 8 and got him completely crossed up. No way he was making 8B, which is that quick flick back to the right. And he ended up off track. But meanwhile, the battle continues here. Swanson under attack from Whitson. And now Shields, who's just been laying back, hasn't been sticking his nose in anywhere, suddenly is in a medal position.
Yeah, right there up to 3rd, just being patient. Saw some tires screeching back behind there in the exit of turn number 5. We'll have to get a view on that to see if anything happened there. But these cars, not a lot of grip, and there it was. Yeah, I heard it there over the cameras, but the number 41 off to the side, Ron Wake.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, that Ron Chuck Engineering Mysterian. And nice move there. Shields now able to sneak through, pick up that 2nd spot from Whitson. He's really been driving a smart race, Shields has. Like I said, he hasn't been getting into the fray here early and just keeping the momentum alive in that car, being in position, opportunity presents, he pounces.
Yeah, assuming there wasn't a yellow flag before that turn-in point, he got that completed before the yellow, so really timed it perfectly.
Absolutely. Now, lap being completed is lap number 7. out of turn 11 once again, and Roger Siebenaller in this mix. Then a significant gap now back to Weishaupt after that off up in turn 8. He still has a little bit of a margin over McCarthy in 6, Skip Streets up to 7th, the 9 of Quinn Posner into 8th, the 41 of Ron Waite. We just saw off though, so that's going to cost him a little bit. So that should move Don Pepperdine up into 9th, and now Gavin Sweeney in the 91 moves up into the top 10.
Yeah, and a best race lap of the event so far, Rick Shields, a 1:44.1 into the low 144s, and you know, mind you, 1:43.1 was our pole time, so still a second off of what they were doing in qualifying, but a really fast race pace. Weishaupt has not recovered from that off earlier. It was 3.9 seconds was the gap up into fourth place, and now it's over 5 seconds to the gap between 4th and 5th.
And you know, Ferrisons has got to be, I mean, just frustrated beyond belief, because he was a second faster than anybody else in qualifying. In this class, that's a calendar year. That's immense. And to be out of it halfway around, not even halfway around that first lap. But in all honesty, that may have made this a little bit more entertaining race, because when you've got that kind of a clock on the field, that's pretty impressive. Good battle here. That is Brian McCarthy now back to 7th. Quinn Posner right behind him in the run up the hill.
Yeah, coming up here side by side. He's pointing to him saying, here, you want it, go down to the inside and get me, but got to watch out for that yellow flag. Make sure that pass is completed before you get down there. There it is, that standing yellow for that car off to the driver's left there of Ron Waite.
Yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit, just saying, you know, right now I don't have the pace come through. Let me follow you for a little bit. And the full course yellow now comes out, and that is going to sort of bring everybody right back into this. So suddenly Weishaupt, we know he's got speed. Now he gets the opportunity to get back into this a little bit, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Jake Pipple up there in the bottom of the corkscrew off driver's left, and then we have the 41 of Ron Wake off to turn number 5. So just a little too many cars off the track here and in some dangerous zones. Our second full course yellow in our Formula V, 8 laps completed.
So everybody gets to gather it up a little bit, and there is the number 41. He was running in that pack, as we talked about, up into that top 10 pack. When you're running at that level of the game, you're pushing hard, you're working hard. And again, we've seen some indications that this track is just a little slicker than it has been maybe at any other point so far this event.
Well, you know, we had sun out, and each day it's always been foggy in the morning. Mind you, it was really bad yesterday and we were delayed, but still you had that marine layer here to kind of keep the track a lot cooler. It's probably heating up a lot sooner than it is now, and I gotta think that's playing a factor. And now this is the 3rd day of competition here, all the different rubber compounds the track wearing in, and the track's getting pretty dirty. All these guys dropping these wheels off on the track. That's just notoriously one of the aspects of Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just brings that little bit of gravel up, and if you've got a slick track to start with, it gets real dicey. And there, the SCCA EV crews pointing them through here at the field coming through. You know, we've talked a little bit about what these cars are, some of the unique engineering that is part and parcel of this very special class, but as Hayward Wagner found out for us a little bit earlier in the weekend, he took a look and he said it's also one of the most cost-effective ways to go racing.
Formula V is really a testament to how simple racing can be. We're taking a look at Aaron Meyer's number 17 car, and as you can see, the construction of the vehicle, very simple tube design. The engine, a 1200cc Volkswagen engine, Volkswagen transaxle. This car is using Volkswagen brakes, Volkswagen wheels, the front suspension, and the steering box, all original from the Volkswagen Beetle. Aftermarket parts, the shocks, the tires, brake shoes, all of these things are to the driver's liking, but overall the package, very simple, weighing just over 1,000 pounds.
If you want to go Formula car racing, this is a great place to make the step and get into it, and you will never find racing that is more intense in terms of the pack, the level of competition, and as you pointed out, this is one of the groups, these guys are thick when they're off the track, in terms of being friends as well. It's just a joy.
And I like how he said that, the brake shoes.
Yeah.
Drum brakes all around on these cars too. So yeah, it's you see the light of God when you hit the brake pedal down there in turn number 2, and just pray that it works with all 4 brake shoes locking up. Absolutely,
and these guys just give them a ride. It is pretty amazing what they're dealing with. Again, that quote unquote older technology, which of course keeps the costs in just a little bit. You don't have power assist on the brakes, you don't have power steering. I mean, this is old school racing, and you know what? There's a reason It's old school, you know, that old school racing. It's competitive. That's the cool thing about it. You know, a lot of the new technology, the aero and all that, really ruins the racing. Best racing on the planet might just be Formula V, and the reason is it's simple. Get in and drive the thing.
Yeah, you get to do that, and it is power steering, just it's power steering with your arms.
Exactly.
That's why you see every Formula V guy walking around with these big Popeye forearms, I think. But guess got to give a shout out here once again to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, that beautiful Mazda 6 pace car leading our Formula Vs, and 144 lows, 143 won the pole position. By far, as simple as the Formula V cars are, not the slowest group here. Kind of mid-pack there, running around this track at a 144. That's about a 76 mile an hour average around this 2.238 mile course. Good runs for those cars.
Absolutely, and I think that's the story, isn't it? Is they make good speed, and bang for the buck in terms of the enjoyment factor of the racing. Not even close, I don't think. And one of the cool things, you take a look, the number 13 of Don Pepperdine, currently I believe running in the 9th spot. You know, that's a car, that slick M1. You know, that's a car whose actual origins go back a lot of years, and you can get cars that you know, where the chassis have been around 20 or so years, are still completely competitive, and that's pretty cool. There, by the way, folks, the number 7, that is SCCA's president and CEO of SCCA now, Lisa Noble, got that job. Courtesy the board of directors said, we need somebody in here who's got a complete understanding of this. Well, you know, with what Lisa and of course her husband Bill, so many years national champions in engine building in this category, they have seen the gamut of SCCA, and I have to say, I think she's been absolutely fantastic since she's taken the helm.
And now she's, I think, got that full gamut of SCCA and what it has to offer running Formula V here at the Runoffs. We talked about it before at the September round at Miller Motorsports Park. Stepped into that Pontiac Solstice in Early World Challenge competition, so she's been up to the echelon of pro racing, down here to the echelon of club racing at the Runoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a good look at Roger Siebenhaler. We've been talking about a former pretty impressive driver for sure, the 88 pole sitter in the class, and the man also has some pretty serious accomplishments here. This is his 28th start, 3-time national champ, and a total, and this is pretty spectacular, 8 medals he has been able to put together. And guess what? You know, started in 7th, didn't quite get the speed he wanted, but he's right now suddenly right into contention. I mean, that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, it is.
You gotta love it.
See that. It's great. Wow. Just some of the stories that come out of the Runoffs, and it's a great chance to see where all these guys come from and how they assemble at these different racetracks where the Runoffs is always taking place. And you know, the guy that's leading, we talked about a little bit earlier, local knowledge here from California. You got Pennsylvania, Virginia, just everything. I think in Formula V, we probably have every division of SCCA represented.
Oh, easily every division. I think, you know, just put a map of the United States up, go blindfolded and throw darts at it. And that's kind of be the spread that you get in Formula V. I mean, the passion these guys have for this class is absolutely exceptional.
Yeah, and you said that. It is a passion. These guys work on these cars day in, day out. It's a Volkswagen. You got to work on Volkswagens a lot. But this is truly a passion for these drivers, and they're here expressing that passion for the national championship in Formula V.
Well, and again, you know, we were talking about that great battle in the B-Spec race a little bit earlier, David Daugherty, and the sportsmanship he showed. I remember back when the Runoffs were at Road Atlanta, Bill Noble, Lisa's husband, who passed away unfortunately, but he was the engine builder. I mean, nobody, you know, built engines like Noble did. He got to the Runoffs. One of his competitors and one of his customers had a problem with his engine. Bill took the engine out of his car and gave it to that guy, who then went on to finish higher than Bill did. And you know, Bill's engine actually, the one he was running, that he took from that guy, let go with a few laps to go. And he said, you know, how you feel about that? Bill said, I take care of my customer. That's what you do, and that's pretty spectacular. Good look there at the number 20. That's Harry Schneider, Executive Motorsport Liverpool. That car, the Adams Aero, I think back in the mid-1990s, I think that car actually won a national championship. That's what I'm talking about. The longevity of these chassis. They're still out there running.
Yeah, absolutely doing that great there. And interesting stat.
So absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. We're thinking we might be going back to green this time. The field is working lap 11, so we're just past the halfway point. So we do go back to green. we've got plenty of racing yet to go, and this field is packed up again, Jeff. And we saw what happened on the original start. We saw what happened on the restart of that first caution. It can get pretty fierce.
Yeah, lights are out on the pace car, and it's going to come really close to being laps versus time. 15 minutes remaining in this session. We have 10 laps to go, running minute 40s. That puts us just about 2 minutes before the checkered flags would have to air if it was a 40-minute race.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. It's about to get back to it anyway. The pace car makes the move in, leading him up into that final turn. The number 86 of Terrence Swanson. The opportunistic 77 of Rick Shields right behind Andrew Whitson, Roger Siementaler, and a rejuvenated Jonathan Whiteside and Blue Machine right back into the fray as we go green at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Terrence Swanson, boy, we saw him lock everything up on that last restart after the caution, and Shields is going to try and hound him just a little bit. And there we go, down into two. This time it's the guys behind. A number of cars just smoking the rears and the fronts going in here. The rears, not necessarily the tires in this class, but everybody gets through it here. And Whiteside trying right now to keep the 51 of Skip Streets behind him. And those 6, Jeff, have made a little bit of a break.
Yeah, just a little tiny bit in your top 3, actually pulling away a little bit too from 4th and 5th. So we'll see if this plays out. But back to 3rd, though. Winston, I really think he wants to try to recover, try to get back around Shields. As Shields is still trying to get around Terrence Swanson, so battles all right here at the front of the grid.
Yeah, and Siementaler looked like he may have struggled into turn number 5 just a little bit. Let's see if Eyesight can do anything about it. That Blue Machine, Skip Streets thinking he's got an opportunity. Up through 6 we go. The compression and that launch up into the corkscrew. And boy, did those top 2 guys, the Swanson and Shields, get through 6 incredibly well.
Yeah, right there. They just followed right there. And here's Shields trying to look on the inside down into the corkscrew. Thinks better of it. Go back to the outside. Make a good arch. The Streets to the outside of the corkscrew of Whiteside.
Ooh, and you can see Streets, the back end, rotating big time. That's what caught Whiteside out. And Streets feeling it as well. So apparently right at turn in for the corkscrew. It's a bit slippery there. But boy, did Streets get out of there. Look at this move down to the inside. He's got it. He is through, and Skip Streets moves into the top 5.
Yeah, what a great move there. Stuck his foot in it onto the outside of turn number 9, but now he goes down and has got a call car right behind him into the pits. Somebody ducking in.
Yep. Couldn't quite pick that number up. One of the guys that was running in the top 10, so that's unfortunate. But Skip Streets now comes by and finds himself up into the 5th spot. Whiteside back to 6th. Posner, McCarthy, Pepperdine. And, well, let's change that up. Yeah, Sweeney, Pepperdine, and Neumeister. And Robert Neumeister has made his way into the top 10. Oh, that's the 05 of McCarthy. He was one of the guys that was really in the position maybe for a top 5 finish.
Yeah, Brian McCarthy started 11th, was up to 7th when he made that pit spot. I thought that was actually Skip Streets coming in the pits. That's why I got so excited there, but it was another one of those black cars. Unfortunately, it looks like his day is done.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, up front, Terrence Swanson able to hang on, but Rick Shields, and we know Andrew Whitson, those guys are going to be pretty aggressive. And as we get a little bit more speed and lap in here, Roger Siementaler now starting to find pace. Remember, that number 72, he was running some very, very quick laps to reel these guys in. And then you noticed he didn't exactly make a bunch of moves, did he? He just kind of settled in. And, that's, he's scoping out. That's doing a little research and prep for the pounce.
Yeah, I think he's just sort of buying his time. Notoriously, that's what he does. He kind of waits there till the end, saves all that he can. He's from North Hero, Vermont. Maybe he can make a hero move of the race here right at the end.
I knew you were going there with it.
Absolutely.
As he comes working his way back down the hill right now. Boy, Terrence Swanson through turn 8 and 8A that time was absolutely perfection. Look at the margin it gave him.
Oh, yeah, big time there. Pulls about a 3-car length gap. Well, these are Formula V, so about a 10-car length gap.
Exactly.
Down there into turn number 11. You see Winston all over the back of Rick Shields now. Rick Shields just a half a lap before was trying to battle for the lead, and that's how quick it can happen here in Formula V.
Yeah, and Whiteside, who had that great pace in the early part, the blue car that sits in 6th, has dropped off. There he just now comes into the frame, so he hasn't quite been able to match things, and I wonder if just that, there's not a lot you can do in terms of setup on these cars, but there are things you can do, and I think maybe his just, went away here. Didn't quite nail it for these current conditions we've been talking about.
Yeah, you don't know how the weather is going to turn out. Yeah. Yesterday we were fogged in for 2 hours. The track was a little bit moist with all that fog coming in. The track was really cool. You come in today, the sun's shining. You don't have time to get your setups here having this race so early in the day.
Absolutely, and now, boy, look at this. Streets now in the back of the 72 of Roger Siementaler. He just turned fast lap of the race at a 1:44.031. and that is showing some really strong pace. This battle for fourth is a good one, and this is not what Neumeister wanted. He was just wanted to wait and have an opportunity, and suddenly he's got a lot of pressure coming from his 6.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I want to bet on who's going to get the win here, and I don't know if you want to be leading coming into that last lap either. As Skip Streaks looking everything he can do to get around Sabinaler, going over here, almost making the move to the insider.
That was, Streets getting through turn 6. It was just superb. And Siebenthaler makes a late move, dives down Andrew Whitson, and picks up that 3rd spot. That came out of nowhere, and that may just now allow Skip Streets. He does. He gets by Whitson as well, and Whitson, I'm sure, is going, what just happened?
Yeah, I know. Where would that come from? As Siebenthaler now up to 3rd place on that podium. So much for waiting, but he's making his move early.
Well, I think he saw an opportunity there, and that's something Roger Siebenthaler is going to do. But boy, that was a very, very last second move. And as he was watching, Swanson and Shields having that battle, Siebenthaler said it's go time. And Roger Siebenthaler, you just saw the experience there. He ran wide at the exit of 11, and there's that little bit of still that green AstroTurf. He did not try to get that car back on and get that car to possibly slide. He just straightened the wheel, straddled the AstroTurf all the way, and that was a huge move. And look at this now. Rick Shields just set fast lap of the race into the 43s at a 43.9, and it darn near took him around Terrence Swanson. Terrence just able to hang on. Now, can Siebenthaler, that 3rd place car, be able to run him down?
Yeah, I know. 6 laps left. They'll be completing lap 15, 3/4 of the way through this with 9 minutes remaining. Rick Shields looking to the outside, going to try to see if he can maybe do an over-under back to the inside. This is going to be just side-by-side, I think, all the way to the end. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, that was interesting. Shields, I think he was hoping he could trap Swanson and get him to shallow his entry up into 5. And Swanson said, I'm clear, I'm coming back over. And because he knew what was on the line here. But Siebenthaler just seems to be hooked up in this section of track. But side-by-side again, as Rick Shields now through, using the outside move and making it stick as he got that little right-hand kink leading into the brake zone. We have a new leader, and that little exchange side-by-side through 8 is exactly what Roger Siebenthaler wants to see.
Yeah, they need to keep doing that. Whoa, big loose there for Shields on the exit down through Rainey.
And that caused Swanson, he had to back off just a little bit. And Siebenthaler, believe me, folks, watching all of this and saying, it's coming. Right behind him, Andrew Whitson taking a run now at Streets, trying to get back up into 4th. And again, this group through. Did he get it done? No. Whitson not able to get around Streets yet.
Yeah, the best thing that Streets and Whitson to do, though, is just go nose to tail, run this group back down. You don't want to let them get away. Once you lose track, you will lose that draft and lose this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this big move here. Again, just some fascinating stuff. 77 Shields through. Able to hang on, but boy, I'll tell you, that car, he is pushing it to and maybe just a smidge over the limit. And now, Siebenthaler right there. It is a 3-car battle as we are now into our final quarter of the run to the gold in Formula V.
Yeah, 7.5 minutes left. Swanson gets a good run on the outside of turn number 4, side by side into turn number 5. He'll have the advantage down to the inside, Greg.
He's there, he's through, and I think Shields said, yep, if I try and fight this, we're going to be slow out, and Siebenthaler's just going to blow by both of us. These guys are savvy. They understand the exchange of momentum in this class, and so there we go. That battle is right there, and this is some pretty fascinating stuff. I mean, right now, Siebenthaler's been able to run those 2 down with all of their battling on track. These 3 have distanced themselves.
Yeah, they sure have, and over that 4th and 5th place cars of Skip Streets and Whitson. 4 laps to go when they come back by. It's not going to be over yet. 6.5 minutes remaining in this race.
Down the hill we go. Boy, look at that again. We see Terrence Swanson is so good through the corkscrew. He just makes up a huge chunk.
Yeah, comes down out of the corkscrew, in through Rainey, down into turn 10. He's losing a little bit down here in the braking zone a little bit, but Shields, yeah, definitely backing up his Shields. And Siebenthaler is really there, ready to pounce over Shields. I think he's going to have to do that quick if he's going to make a run on Swanson for the win.
Yeah, we're completing now lap number 16, 4 to go, as they go underneath the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca start bridge and up into the Andretti hairpin one more time. Siebenthaler not quite close enough this time to try a move on Rick Shields. The margin at the line officially 0.8 of a second. But I don't think it's quite that as they come out of the Andretti hairpin. We've seen Shields be very quick through that turn.
Yeah, he sure hasn't. Skip Streets and Winston was really trying to make a move there. Winston dropped way back, got way wide on the Andretti hairpin. Now Skip Streets sort of closed that gap a little bit on this top three. It may not be over yet in fourth for number 51, Skip Streets.
Yeah, he ran a good 145.2 to Siebenthaler's 45.1 on that last lap, but he's got some good pace as you get down and into turn number 2 right now, and so this is an opportunity. Streets now has cleared Andrew Whitson, and now he's got if he can stay clear of Whitson, he can maybe run it up here, but the more concern for these guys is Terrence Swanson continues to hold that lead, and when he gets up into turn 8, this is where he excels.
Yeah, we'll see what that gap is now. It was 0.8 at the line. It's going to be extended here because he has been just superb exiting the corkscrew and down through Rainey. Turn number 9.
Well, he just carries so much speed. It isn't so much into 8, it's through 8A. His line through there just allows him to fly down that hill.
And you can really see it on the exit of turn number 9 coming down the hill. The car just looks like it's just on a rail, like a slot car coming down through there and accelerating down the hill.
Siebenthaler, he knows he needs to get by Shields. He showed the nose going into 11, wasn't close enough. And as all of this is unfolding, as we said, Terrence Swanson just continues with that margin. It was 0.8 last time by. We'll keep an eye on scoring as he crosses the stripe. Here comes Shields, and he picked up a 10th on Shields. It's now 0.9 of a second with Siebenthaler right there. And Whitson sits into the 4th spot with Streets now, so able to get through at that point. But there's, again, Terrence Swanson just has enough. But, he's not that good through turn 2. That's where we see Shields and Siebenthaler able to close it back up again.
Well, Swanson from nearby Petaluma, California, you got to think that, the home track advantage is playing a part of this. Rick Shields, it was 0.8 lap before 0.9. That gap is slowly starting to decrease here as Swanson really struggling through turn 2, 3, and 4, but see if he can get that advantage back down out of the carousel in through 9 and 10.
Yeah, we're coming up on 36.5 minutes of race time. Remember, it is a 40-minute timed limit with those 2 cautions. It's going to be close. Let's put it that way at this point, as we have about 2.5 laps to go. And as we said, running in the 144s, et cetera, up the hill. And this is as close. This is Shields, a little bit closer this time with Siebenthaler right behind him. But right here, just the flow through here, Swanson usually ends up picking up 2, 3, 4 car lengths.
I think Siebenthaler really wants to make the move, but maybe be better if he just sticks right on the back of Shields and try to make a move on Swanson here in the late going.
It's going to be interesting because they're only going to have 2 laps to be able to do it as they get down to the end of this one, down into turn 11. Shields deep on the brakes, Siebenthaler right tucked behind him here. Good flow that time by Siebenthaler out of the corner. He really hit that. And let's see if he's able to catch any kind of a draft, be able to make some sort of a move here, because Swanson up front, the margin now, another 10th he has picked up, and he does that every lap, and then it compresses by the time he gets over into turn 5, and but then through turn 8, the corkscrew, he makes it all up again as we are into our final 2 laps, Jeff.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes left, so this will go the full lap distance, full 20 minutes, and then just a little bit extra. There is car number 17 making a move, Aaron Meyer, over Larry McKenzie for that pass up into 12th.
Yeah, that's a good move by Meyer. Puts him, actually they both got around and picked up, but that's 10th, yeah. So a great run for them. By the way, behind the battle we've been following, 5th is Quinn Posner, 6th is Whiteside, 7th is Sweeney, 8th now is Marjorie Lundberg. She has had a fantastic run from 20th, Marjorie has, up into 8th. Then Blake Tatum in 9th, and Aaron Meyer, as you just pointed out, making that pass up into 10th. So, we do that Sunoco Hard Charger Award, and Marjorie 20th right now to 8th. That might be very strong candidate material for that award.
Absolutely. We'll get a word on that near the end, and of course when the results go official, we'll have that Sunoco Hard Charger Award. Right now, Terrence Swanson, though, your leader in Formula V, looking for that gold medal.
Boy, and he is just so good through the corkscrew, and the speed that he carries, as you pointed out, Jeff, you can see it becomes apparent at the exit of 9, but it all begins at turn in at 8, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I noticed right there in the entry to Rainey, he stays way to the inside, and you see the guy Shields behind him going way to the outside, trying to make a more of an arch. But with these, lower horsepower momentum cars, it might be better just to make the track a little bit shorter instead of the inside there.
Exactly, shorter distance in these cars can make a big difference. White flag, 1 to go, and there is a lap car. I think that might be Harry Schneider up there that I don't know whether they're going to get into him here on this last lap, but they just might. And they are, as a matter of fact. So this is going to be pretty fascinating. And this is what Swanson wanted. If you're going to run into traffic, you want to have 5, 6 car lengths. And Siebenthaler, again, that's what we're talking about, Jeff, making that track a little bit shorter. He just kept it pinned to the inside and darn near was able to sneak through on Shields.
Yeah, he's got a good run out of 3 here. See if he can put the nose in there. Nose and tuck back in.
Ooh,
Try
so
it
close.
down here in turn number 5. He's running out of corners to make that pass for second.
So, and of course, that little exchange, that might allow Swanson to go. But Swanson coming up, nice and clean through on Schneider. And so that was the opportunity for these two guys with the traffic. They didn't get the benefit of it. They might get caught by it, as a matter of fact, up here at that very tricky turn 6. Oh boy, they're going to have to go well off of their preferred line to get through. They both do, but they can't use the track. Schneider just drives off the track. I think he just didn't want to get in their way, but traffic, look what it did right there. Seriously, Siebenthaler got a bit balked.
Yeah, side by side on the apex of turn number 6, and I don't believe Siebenthaler can be able to recover from that.
Yeah, and both of them, without a doubt, too. Shields he was off his line. He had to turn in a little bit tighter, and that killed the momentum. So down the hill we go. Terrence Swanson put that car where he wanted it, was absolutely brilliant through the corkscrew, down through turn 9. And, you know, when you're having a drag race out of a tight corner for the finish, you want to have a gap, and he had one. Still using up every ounce of this racetrack, and Shields has gone around. Siebenthaler will sneak through. You can see Terrence Swanson celebrating madly. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic for him. And officially, well, unofficially still, but according to scoring, yes indeed, Roger Siebenthaler comes through, and Andrew Whitston will end up with the bronze as Shields facing backwards at the approach to turn number 11, watching that medal slip through his fingers.
Oh, and it was all by himself, too. There was not another car around there, and that's unfortunate when you see that happen. Just devastating. Running second, back to 4th, off the podium in the last corner of the last lap.
Well, you know what? For Terrence Swanson, as you pointed out, a local guy, Petaluma, California, a lot of laps on this track. This is only his 3rd start in the runoffs. His best finish was an 8th last year at Road America. Wow, what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, it sure does. Look at that, got both hands up on that wheel, excited here. The hometown crowd cheering him on.
Just incredible as he's going to enjoy this one, and of course he gets one more lap of this track after he visits with our Hayward Wagner when he gets to carry that checkered flag around. The lap of honor, the victory lap at the SCCA runoffs. That means you're national champion. And usually there's something flapping around in the cockpit that's distracting you. What is it? Oh yeah, a big piece of gold.
Yeah, big old medallion sitting there right in the middle of your chest, and he's going to have that on there. Just big time celebrations. And Siebenthaler, I believe, could have made a move for the lead, but that battle with Rick Shields, just epic through Formula-ville.
It truly was. It was just something to watch. And again, Formula V just doesn't disappoint.
Not at all. Action right to the end, and Shields spun right there in turn 11, and just, got to be devastating.
So there it is, just enjoying this moment. And Siebenthaler trying to come up and get up alongside and give him a thumbs up. Again, the sportsmanship in this class is just superb. And Andrew Whitston, I mean, what an up and down race for Whitston. You know, the lead all the way back at one point to 5th and way out of it, and ends up, Jeff, back with a medal.
Yeah, gets on the podium. You're coming down into turn number 11 going, well, you know, hey, top 5, that's nothing to be ashamed of. And then, thank you very much. Olay, here I go. You know?
How about the bronze? Exactly. That's not too bad at all. But Petaluma, California's Terrence Swanson coming up. San Francisco region, the Toad Hall Enterprises, Swan Tech Graphic Company, Mysterian M4. It's not a mystery anymore. It is a gold medal. Look at that. His crew, which usually is a buddy who's a volunteer, just part of the fun here in Formula V. It truly is a family. It's a family class, and that's pretty cool. So when good things happen, everybody shares in it, and that's pretty special. Boy, Hayward, he's taking a little bit of time trying to get that helmet off right now. I think he's just living in the moment at this point. That's pretty cool indeed, but wow, boy, did he earn this moment. All right, Hayward, looks like he's got the helmet off.
Terrence Swanson, your winner here in Formula V. Local guy does good. Terrence, tell us what it's like to win a national championship at your home track.
It's unbelievable right now. It's still kind of surreal for me. I knew it was going to be a really tough race, and I got to thank the guys for everybody around me playing it real nice and clean, but it's just unreal right now.
Obviously, you got a great restart on that last restart. You were able to get a little bit of a margin. How much of this race were you looking right here?
At the restarts, I was definitely looking at my mirrors a lot, seeing where the guys were behind me, but as soon as my crew started telling me, you got the gap, just keep pushing, be consistent, I started looking at them less and less and started focusing on my own driving, and I think that's really what did it at the end there.
Well, huge congratulations to you. Your first runoff podium, and it's the top step. Congratulations, national champion in Formula V. I just saw Roger Siebenthaler congratulating. Where did we get Roger off to? Roger Siebenthaler, can you step over here, Roger? Roger wants to give a congratulations to our winner before we talk to him. Roger wearing the silver medal around his neck right now. Guys, you were talking about how thick this Formula V field is. Everybody's buddies here. Congratulate each other. Roger, it looked like 5-6 laps to go. You saw the opportunity. You knew it was time to go if you're going to catch this guy, but he just had more legs than you.
Well, yeah, I knew it was coming close. And then we came up on a back mark on the last lap, and that totally screwed my chances of trying to get by. In fact, I got separated from third, and then Rick spun coming on the front straight. That was my opportunity to get second. But I don't know if I could have caught Tarrant or not. He was pretty much hooked up. He was like on rails.
Now, there was a move you made of the corkscrew there towards the end of the race. It's been awarded the GoPro Hero move of the race. Talk us through that pass.
Well, I was thinking about it the whole time through, whether or not I could pull this off or not. And, well, it worked, and I was going to try it on Rick, but Rick's a teammate of mine, and I just didn't want to do it. Because if it didn't work, then I would never hear the end of it.
All right, well, one of the KG veterans here at Formula V coming in second spot, Roger Siebenthaler with the silver medal. Congratulations, sir. We've got one more Formula V competitor that we need to speak with. Our bronze medalist, a great race for you. Kind of a little bit of an incident there on the first lap. Can you talk about what happened there in turn 5?
Yeah, I just got into Mike a little bit, just trying to keep with him. Braked a little bit sooner than I expected, and I was already committed to the corner. There's, nothing I could do at that point. I feel horrible about the whole thing. Obviously not something that was intentional, but something that happened, and can't go back from there. So.
Yep. Clearly in these Formula V cars with the close racing, contact will occasionally happen. That also negatively affecting your race. Front row at the beginning of the race, how was the battle to get back through this field?
Yeah, really, I stayed with those guys. These guys were just flying all day. I was doing everything to hold on to them. I think that was the best we could have done today. So.
All right, well, congratulations to you on a runoffs podium, your bronze medal winner here in Formula V. Guys, there's your top 3 Formula V.
Thanks very much, Hayward, and what a top 3 it is. And there's Terrence Swanson, man, is he enjoying this moment? National champion. And by the way, we talked about only his 3rd start, previous finish in 8th, but this year in the U.S. Majors Tour, he won the Western Conference, 3 poles, 6 wins. So he's had himself a pretty successful year already. Now you add this onto it, unbelievable. And let's not forget the front row of Verisons, who was awfully quick in qualifying, and Dennis Andrade, taken out in the very early going of this one. But everybody else just stepped up.
Yeah, they sure did. And he is your Formula V national champion. And the way he's celebrating here at his home racetrack, he could be the Formula 1 world champion and just be as happy.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at our unofficial results. Terrence Swanson with the gold. Siebenthaler, another medal in runoffs competition. Andrew Whitston, a good solid run up into 3rd. Rick Shields in that spot for a second until that spin on the very last corner. Quinn Posner completing your top 5. Gavin Sweeney. Jonathan Whiteside, after that great speed he showed early, just slipping back a little bit. Marjorie Lundberg, very likely a possibility, at least, for that Sunoco Hard Charger Award, up to 8th. 9th is Blake Tatum, and 10th, Aaron Meyer. Again, Roger Siebenthaler getting that GoPro Hero move of the race award. That just last-minute pop move, that great success up in the corkscrew. That was spectacular. And one note here, and obviously I'm not wishing this is not what we're saying, but with that contact, that's going to be reviewed. If something is done about that, Rick Shields might still end up with a medal. That will all be reviewed post-race, but boy, what a show.
Yeah, it was a great show, and we expect nothing less of the Formula V category or any of the categories here at the 2014 SCCA runoffs.
Yeah, they put on an absolutely spectacular show. So, Formula V, the national championship has been decided here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca for the 2014 SCCA National Championship runoffs. An absolutely fabulous race as always. And what a pleasure it is to be a part of it and to call it. Up next, it'll be Randy Popst and Rick Benjamin taking you through the next couple of national championship runs. For my partner, Jeff Lepper, for Hayward Wagner down in the pit lane, I'm Greg Creamer. Thanks so much, everybody, and a huge congratulations once again to a very happy gold medalist, Terrence Swanson.
Following post-race technical inspection, the first 3 cars were found to be out of compliance. This awarded the national championship to Rick Shields.
The 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs are being brought to you in HD by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Hankook, driving emotion.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson. Courageous engineering is also the Mazda way, and why the 2014 Mazda 3 has an available class-exclusive suite of 8 safety features and a top safety rating. Because when it comes to safety, you can never go too far. This is the 2014 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
Machines and their manufacturers span the planet. This is no spec series. Diversity breeds excellence and brings battle. Ride with the best and test the iconic circuits of North America. No pit stops, no quarter. The world watches and knows this is how racing should be.